Welcome to the Ben Gregersen Show. There's a lot going on this week. As we all know, there's a government shutdown right now, and I wanted to talk about that tonight because a lot of what's happened this last week is that basically Republicans have sent 4 continuing resolutions to the Democrat Senate. Basically, what a continuing resolution is it is a bill to continue the government. It is to prevent a government shutdown. The Republicans sent 4 continuing resolutions to the Senate, and the Senate rejected all of them. And basically, Barack Obama and Harry Reid and the Democrats, they want a government shutdown. They're going to shut down the government because they want everybody to suffer if they don't get what they want on Obamacare. See, the American people don't like Obamacare. All the polls show it. Obamacare sucks. And Republicans, they ran on the promise that they were going to repeal Obamacare. And basically what I see is a bunch of Republicans that are keeping their promise. You know, they're keeping the promise that they promised to their constituents. But Republicans, they've been trying to keep the government open. All of them have said that they do not want a government shutdown. But Barack Obama and Harry Reid, they're a bunch of crybabies who are going to shut down the government if they don't get everything they want on Obamacare. And that's what's happened is Republicans have tried to delay Obamacare, and they tried to defund it, and even they tried to get rid of the exemptions that Congress has in Obamacare. It's funny because Barack Obama wants to force all of us to be part of Obamacare, but he's exempted himself from it. Barack Obama does not have to live under the law. Neither does the Congress. They've exempted themselves from Obamacare. That's how much this law sucks. So Republicans this week, they said, okay, we want to get rid of those exemptions. If the American people have to live under Obamacare, so should the president, and so should Congress. And that went to the Senate too, that continuing resolution that got rid of the exemptions for Congress, and the Democrats voted against that too. So apparently the Democrats believe that they should have special privileges that the American people don't have. They don't believe that they should live under a law that the American people have to. Somehow the Democrat Party thinks they're above the American people. They're basically saying, oh yeah, the American people, they have to live with Obamacare, but we don't have to. We're too good for Obamacare. See, that's how these elites think, is they think that they're better than the American people. And the Democrat Party is nothing but a bunch of elites. Hello, welcome to the Ben Gregersen Show.
Hello, I thought I'd call in. You're talking about Obama again. My favorite subject.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting to me how the Democrats, like Harry Reid in particular, just turn everything around, you know, like a reverse psychology saying, you know, the Republicans are shutting down the government, and, you know, they've done everything possible to keep the government working, and you know, they have to send all these separate bills in for every agency to try to keep them funded, and they have to send them in separately to get them okayed from the Senate, I suppose. And, you know, I mean, it's ridiculous. They're doing everything they can to keep things going.
Yeah, absolutely, and the Senate has said no to all of them.
Yeah, reverse psychology, that's what he's doing. Trying to make everybody think that the Republicans are just absolutely at fault. They're trying everything you can to keep the world safe, you know.
Yeah. Well, and you want to know something? Republicans, they've been calling for a conference where both sides could come together and hash out their differences and come up with a solution to this mess. But Harry Reid won't even show up to the meeting. The Republicans have been standing there in the House of Representatives for days, you know, just talking and waiting for Harry Reid to show up. He won't even show up. He won't even talk to the Republicans. Neither will Barack Obama. Here we got Barack Obama. He's talking to the dictators in Iran, but he won't talk to Congress. No. It's crazy.
Well, he's not going to give them the time of day, that's for sure, because he doesn't want anything to do with their, you know, with the bills that they're trying to pass. And
yeah.
So his object is to shut the government down, period, and so that, you know, it will look like the Republicans did it, because then when the election comes along, then, you know, he's hoping that it'll squash the Republican, you know, chances.
You know, absolutely. You know, these Democrats, they want a government shutdown because they think it's going to benefit them politically. Yeah. But it won't benefit them politically if it gets out to the American public that it was the Democrat Party that shut the government down.
Yeah, well, I guess it's up to us and everybody else to let them know that.
Yeah, well, you want to know something? The Republicans are fighting hard. You know, I've actually been proud of them this week because they found their backbone. Yeah. You know, it seems like there's been a lot of weaklings, you know, weak in the knees and stuff for a while now, but it seems like this week they've really come together and, you know, they're fighting, you know, and I think they're actually winning this battle.
Well, I hope so. You know,
I think that the American public is going to see through the Democrat Party on this. I really do, especially when Republicans are sending.
There's no Democrat Party anymore. It used to be a good party, but now it's just gone. Now it's just socialist.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Democrats today are nothing like JFK.
No.
You know, JFK said, "Ask not what your country could do for you, but what you can do for your country."
Yeah.
You know, today the Democrat Party expects the government to do everything for them. Mm-hmm. You know, here JFK was saying, "Ask not what your government could do for you."
Yeah.
You know, but do something for your country. The ideology of the Democrat Party is completely flipped now. Now they expect the government to do everything for you. They expect the government to change your diapers and everything else.
Yeah. For sure.
Well, thanks for calling.
You betcha.
All right, have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, there's a video I want to show you guys.
So we're here at the World War II Memorial. This is the day of the government shutdown. It seems as though there are some people within the memorial, which is a little confusing because none of the memorials are supposed to be open. So I'm going to try to find out what happened here and how it is that these folks are able to get in while other folks are not able to get into other places controlled by the federal government. Let's find out. The government is shut down today, and yet there seem to be people here in the World War II Memorial. Do you know what happened? Do you have any idea?
There weren't. As you can see, the sign over here said that all the national parks are closed, including these open-air memorials. So I was doing my morning walk this morning. I got an email that there were World War II veterans that were coming in, and they were going to be prevented from going into the memorial. You can't do that. You've got people that are anywhere from 84 to 99 years old. So I ran over here and I was taking a picture over there of the barricades with the buses. This whole area was filled with people 84 to 99 years old. It's the hot sun. They can't stand here very long. So members of Congress had a scissors and cut this police tape, and a bagpiper was here and he led the way, and then we were able to get all the World War II vets in. We had a delegation from the state of Mississippi, then we had a delegation from the state of Iowa, World War II honor vets. They come in on a free flight, they fly in, they see Memorial, and they go home, all on the same day. So there's a tiny window of opportunity to come in, and the National Park Service was preventing the World War II vets from coming in. So members of Congress came down and said, nuts to that, you're going to let these World War II vets come in.
Is this a bipartisan? Is this a bipartisan effort to let the World War II vets come in, or
no,
is it?
I think it would be, but it was Republicans that were here today. It was all Republicans that were here, and Republicans that led the World War II vets in.
You know, there are a couple of honor flight groups that had permits. Because of the shutdown, we had to cancel all permits. There was one group from Mississippi. They had 200 participants. They were obviously on their way here. And so they came here and wanted to see the memorial. Someone moved the barricades and went through. And obviously the Park Service is trying to figure out where we go next.
These are guys that were not stopped by Nazis, fascists, Axis powers, kamikaze. These guys made it through all of that, and this is their memorial. Now we understand with the shutdown, you're going to shut down the pumps, we get that, but it really doesn't take any more people to make sure that things aren't defaced from the inside than it does from the outside.
Who exactly moved the barriers to allow these veterans into the memorial?
Well, the barriers opened and the wheelchairs started rolling through.
But you guys said we're not doing that. You guys just went in anyway. Is that why did you take that stand?
Our congressman opened the gate for us.
Okay, your congressman did, and Representative Steve King from Iowa. Okay, and what did he say to you guys? I mean, did you get here and you just couldn't get in?
He moved the gates and took down the yellow tape so we could get in to see this.
How do you feel about what he did today?
Wonderful.
Wonderful.
So basically what you saw there is World War II vets that went to the World War II memorial yesterday at the National Mall. And Barack Obama had put up barriers around the National Mall and the World War II memorial. And what's really dumb about this is the memorial is outside. To give you a perspective, this would be like putting barriers around Ross Park just because there was a government shutdown. It's just stupid. During the 90s, there was a government shutdown, and they didn't block off the National Mall, which is outdoors. I mean, it's like going to the park, and they're putting these barriers there saying you can't come in. You know, it's stupid. It's ridiculous. National Mall doesn't even need funding. It's outside. Everything there is already built. It's just stupid, you know. So basically these Republicans went in there and thought, why are they blocking our World War II veterans from seeing their memorial? So the Republicans went in there and they knocked down the barriers and let those World War II vets in. I think that's a great thing, and it's a good story. But the story also shows that Barack Obama is trying to play politics here by making the government shutdown worse and trying to inflict as much pain on the American people as humanly possible. It's crazy. I actually want to show you another video now.
Parts of the government. One of those parts of the government that they are going to likely pass is going to be funding the NIH, which does lots of things, but it also, one of the things that it does is funds clinical trials for cancer. Mm-hmm. And so I asked the question of Senate Democrats a short while ago, why not just support that? Why not just at least approve that bill? Listen to what happened. You all talked about children with cancer unable to go to clinical trials. The House is presumably going to pass a bill that funds at least the NIH. Given what you said, will you at least pass that? And if not, aren't you playing the same political games that Republicans are?
Listen, Senator Durbin explained that very well. And he did it here, he did it on the floor earlier, as did Senator Schumer. And it's this. What right do they have to pick and choose what part of government is going to be funded? It's obvious what's going on here. You talk about reckless and irresponsible. Wow. What this is all about is Obamacare. They are obsessed. I don't know what other word I can use. I don't know what other word I can use. They are obsessed with this Obamacare thing. It's working now, and it'll continue to work, and people will love it even more than they do now by far. So they have no right to pick and choose.
But if you can help one child who has cancer, why wouldn't you do it?
Listen.
Because that Head Start model really good.
Why pit one against the other?
Why would we want to do that? I have 1,100 people at Nellis Air Force Base that are sitting home. They have a few problems of their own. This is to have someone of your intelligence suggest such a thing. Maybe means you're irresponsible and reckless. Yes.
So basically, what you just saw here is that the CNN reporter was talking about how Republicans are actually sending bills to the Senate to get the government funded. They're sending bills one by one to open up certain areas of the government. And they sent a bill to the Senate to open up part of the government that would help kids with cancer. And the Senate said no. They rejected it flat out. And she asked him, she basically asked him, well, Harry Reid, why wouldn't you want to help kids with, why wouldn't you want to help kids with cancer? I mean, if you could save one kid with cancer, wouldn't you want to do that? And then Harry Reid responds, why would we want to do that? So basically, Harry Reid is saying, why would we want to help kids with cancer? Isn't that disgusting? I think it is. The fact that Harry Reid is basically saying that he doesn't want to help kids with cancer, because that's what he said today. Like I said before, Harry Reid wants a government shutdown. He is rejecting all the continuing resolutions that the House is sending to the Senate. So, as I said before, this is a Democrat shutdown. Barack Obama is responsible for this shutdown. Harry Reid is responsible for this shutdown. And the Democrat Party is responsible for this shutdown.
Now, with reaction to this and much more, we got a busy night on Hannity, is Texas Senator Ted Cruz. I don't even know where to begin here. You're shaking your head. Go ahead.
Look, this is Harry Reid's shutdown, and it is the perfect example of liberal arrogance. 4 times the House of Representatives has endeavored to compromise, to pass a bill that funds the entire federal government, but at the same time prevents the enormous harms Obamacare is causing to millions of Americans. And 4 times, Harry Reid has said, pound sand, go jump in a lake. He won't negotiate, he won't talk. He told the president, don't talk to Congress. I mean, apparently their view is the president should negotiate with the nation of Iran, but not with Congress. That's just unreasonable, it's ridiculous, and that's what their position is.
Why would we want to help one kid with cancer? Why? Do I even have to begin to answer that? I mean, if you want to talk about cold, callous, heartless, mean-spirited, hateful, all the rhetoric that Harry Reid recklessly throws around against Republicans, it fits him. Your reaction to that?
Well, look, it illustrates what's really going on. As you know, the mainstream media all reads the White House's talking points. So they all repeat, this is the Republican shutdown. And it's why what's happening now is so important. We saw a couple of days ago the Senate unanimously pass a bill funding the men and women of the military, saying we're not going to hold your paychecks hostage the way Harry Reid and President Obama had been threatening to do for weeks. Now, tonight, the House of Representatives has passed a bill funding the national parks, funding the national memorials. Harry Reid suggests he's going to kill that because he wants to keep the Statue of Liberty closed. He wants to keep the World War II memorial closed. There's another bill that the House is expected to pass tonight to fully fund the VA, that we need to stand by our veterans, the commitments we've made. From what Harry Reid has said, he's going to kill that tomorrow.
So and, wait a minute. So I want to understand this. So all this casual cruelty of Harry Reid, he's going to subordinate literally compassion and decency for partisanship. He won't keep the parks open. He won't allow the vets to go to World War II. He's not going to fund the NIH, even if it's going to help one kid with cancer. I mean, that's pretty sick. What a twisted old. Sorry,
Sean. There are 2 things going on. One, Harry Reid and President Obama believe this shutdown benefits them politically. So they don't want it to end. They like this shutdown. But number two, they don't want to open the VA because Harry Reid wants to hold veterans hostage in order to force Obamacare on everyone. And let's be clear, the bill that the House is going to vote out tonight doesn't even mention Obamacare. It simply says we should continue to fund the VA because whatever happens in a shutdown, our veterans should not be held hostage. And apparently Harry Reid's standard is he thinks veterans don't deserve the same treatment that men and women of the active military do. That's not right. We need to honor those commitments, and we need to put the partisan politics of Barack Obama and Harry Reid behind us. And, you know, just 2 days ago, President Obama gave a list of all of the negative things that would happen in a shutdown, that he wouldn't pay the Border Patrol, that he would shut down NASA, that he'd shut down the national parks, and that he'd shut down much of the VA. What the House is doing is saying, Mr. President, we have heard your priorities. We're acting in a bipartisan manner to fund the priorities you laid out, Mr. President, in a national speech. And Harry Reid saying he's going to kill him because he wants everything shut down.
All right, the first was the fund. All right, then they said, let's delay it. Then they said, well, let's just get rid of special exemptions. We'll treat everybody in the country equally. That means big business that they gave an exemption to and individuals. And then they said, all right, let's just talk about it. Now, now we find out the Obama administration knew about the World War II veterans' request. They rejected it, and they sent more guards to the World War II memorial today than they did to Benghazi on September the 11th, 2012.
Well, Sean, I don't think anyone is surprised, although I think we're saddened every day by the political gamesmanship of this administration. This is a president who is, who during sequester furloughed air traffic controllers because he figured if people's flights were delayed, it would inflict the maximum
pain. He shut the White House down to children. Michelle Obama's whining that she can't tweet. Twitter has nothing to do with the White House or the budget. Sorry, you're not going to hear from me, but the government shutdown is not going to allow me. She doesn't do her own tweeting. Sorry, you may have to punch a few buttons there, First Lady.
And yet, look, what's so valuable about this is the media will continue to report Republicans are shutting things down. It becomes very hard for them to report that when you have the House saying, let's open the VA, you have every Senate Republican saying, let's open the VA, and you have Harry Reid saying no, keep the VA defunded. It becomes transparently clear who it is that's shutting down the VA, who it is that's shutting down the Statue of Liberty, who it is that is standing in the way of funding our vital priorities.
How do they get away with this? We're not going to talk to you. Our way or the highway. That's pretty much what it is. And if it means kids with cancer suffer, it means World War II vets suffer, they don't care. Is this the party of compassion and love and decency? Because they claim they have a monopoly on those things.
They live in the D.C. bubble where it's all about brute political power. Listen, what this fight is about fundamentally, Sean, is making D.C. listen to the people. You know, we wouldn't be here if over 2 million people hadn't gone to don'tfundit.com, signed a national petition, and forced our elected officials to listen to us. And you look at the millions of Americans who are losing their jobs, who are being forced into part-time work, who are facing skyrocketing health insurance premiums, and who are at risk of losing their health care because of Obamacare. And what Harry Reid and President Obama are saying is, we don't care about you. We're going to grant exemptions for the ruling class, for big business and members of Congress, but not for hardworking American families. That's wrong, and that's what's going on here.
What a sick, twisted old man to say, why would we want to do that and help a kid with cancer? Pretty heartless, I got to tell you. Pretty sick. Good to see you, Senator.
I think it reflects cynical and unfortunately partisan priorities.
Partisanship trumps everything in the world of Reid and Obama. Sad. All right, thank you so much for being with us. Coming up next, two conservative House Republicans, Michelle.
So there you have it, folks. This is a Democrat government shutdown that we are seeing before our eyes tonight. And basically, the Republicans, they've been, sitting around for hours in the Congress waiting for Harry Reid to show up and talk to them. Yeah, the Republicans in the Congress called for a conference committee, and Harry Reid won't even show up to talk. It's crazy. basically, usually when you call out a conference committee, usually what's supposed to happen is both sides are supposed to come together and hash out their differences to come up with the solution to this mess. But Harry Reid, he won't even show up to talk. And he's out there blaming this on Republicans? No way. So tonight, this program is revealing the truth to the public. And, basically, as we all know, Obamacare opened yesterday. The funny thing about it is it was a disaster. Opening day for Obamacare was a disaster. People were getting online, to get on the Obamacare websites, that's what the healthcare exchange is it's a website. So people are getting on this Obamacare website, and the website is down. There's error messages, nothing's working, and it was a mess. Nothing on the site worked. And Democrats have had 3 years to get this site working, and the site doesn't even work. They've had 3 years to get the launch for Obamacare ready. It just shows how many problems there are with Obamacare, and how much Obamacare is going to hurt this country in the future. There's so many problems with Obamacare. It's ridiculous. The American people, they don't want it. So let's delay it. Let's defund it. Let's get rid of this sucker before it destroys our country. We don't want socialized health care. America was never supposed to be a socialist country. Socialism is in direct opposition of the United States Constitution. We're basically throwing out our Constitution for all this socialism. Socialism is undermining our freedoms, and it will destroy our freedoms. And that's why we have to find a way to get rid of Obamacare, because if we don't get rid of it, our country is no longer going to be a free country. Socialism is going to take over. So we've got to take down Obamacare. And Obamacare is such a mess that it's actually causing healthcare prices to skyrocket. Healthcare is getting more expensive. And the funny thing about it is, young guys like me, healthcare is actually extremely expensive for young people like me under Obamacare. It would actually be cheaper for me not to sign up for Obamacare and just pay the fine. The fine is cheaper for young people to pay than Obamacare is. So that's how bad this is young people might as well not even sign up for Obamacare, even though the law requires them to. The fine is cheaper. That's how much of a mess this whole thing is. This whole thing is a mess. Government health care does not work. It has never worked. It's a complete failure in every single country that has tried it. Socialism has not worked anywhere. Nobody could. I have never heard anybody tell me where socialism has worked. It's because it hasn't worked anywhere. All you have to do is look at the Soviet Union. Look at what socialism did for them. Socialism was terrible for Russia.